Hi, my name is Bunny Cakes and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a review for Gabourey Sidibe's This Is Just My Face, Try Not to Stare. Um, this was a really, really good book. And me saying that is a super duper big compliment because I don't tend to enjoy memoirs or um, autobiographies very much. In fact, I can't entirely tell you why I even picked this up. I saw just the spine of it on the new release shelf at my library, and I saw her name, and that's probably what it was because I really like Gabourey Sidibe's work. She was in Precious in 2009. She's had a recurring character on Empire for a while now, and she's been in several other things. And I really, really loved her character in American Horror Story. She was my favorite character in the Coven season, and then she made a reappearance in a later season, and I absolutely loved it. Um, and one of the reasons I really love Gabourey is because she exudes confidence. Confidence I wish I had, um, especially as a bigger woman. And in the book, you learn so much about her and her anxiety and how um, she has like sometimes lower self confidence and lower self esteem, but she owns it. And to me, this woman is she's not just a queen; she's a goddess, and to me, it seems like she owns the world. There are pictures in here where she feels like she doesn't look her best. There's a picture where she's at a festival standing between Mariah Carey and Patricia Patton. And to me, she looks like she belongs there, but she mentions that she feels out of place because she was wearing shoes from Payless, and I think it was an outfit from like Forever 21. But she belongs there to me. Looking at that picture, I couldn't tell the difference. I couldn't tell that she didn't have a personal stylist or makeup artist. One of the reasons that I think I ended up liking this book so well was because of the way she wrote it. She wrote it like she's sitting there talking to you. You're in the same room. You're having like a cup of coffee or tea or whatever you drink. And I think one thing she does in here that helps with that is that she puts these colorful asides into things. Like at one point, she's talking about having had a fight with her mom, and she goes, "Once when mom and I were in a different fight, different yet the same as that other fight," and then in parentheses, "moms, am I right?" Like it shows personality and color that I don't often see in the memoirs and such that I've ever picked up, or autobiographies or whatever you want to call them. Um, and it just added flavor and color. And I love that this book made me see her as both more of a star and more of a person because she talks about the struggle she's had and she talks about like the quote unquote ugly things that have happened in her life and things that I think a lot of actors and famous people probably wouldn't have shared, like her time as a phone sex operator. Um, and I absolutely loved it. And not only that, but like how she talks about her body image issues and an eating disorder and her bariatric surgery. If you've watched my other channel, you know I'm on my journey to bariatric surgery, and I also have some issues with eating disorders. So like I connected to her with that, and like in some ways, her talking about it assuaged my own fears. And she talks about how there's a chance that this book might make people see her in a bad light, and that was one of her worries about it. But to me, I don't think that'll happen. I mean, she's done some things that may not, by older people's standards, be um, morally sound, But to me, she wasn't doing anything wrong as a phone sex operator. Um, I would probably do that job, especially making the money she said she made. And I don't think that she said anything in this book that made her, anyone she talked about, look bad. Like, I feel like I love her family like people I know, and despite their flaws. And I think the fact that she put some of their flaws in there, flaws that wouldn't necessarily be shared in other books, is what made it so good and what made it so easy to love not just her but her family members as well. And like, this is just such a good read. I read it in nearly 24 hours. It probably would have been 24 hours except for I procrastinated reading like the last 50 pages because I was so into the book that I didn't want to finish it. As much as I wanted to finish it, I was into it to the point that I didn't want to finish it. And I do that with books sometimes. Definitely gave this 5 stars on Goodreads. It is probably the best book I have read this year. Like I said, it's so well written, and her story is interesting and funny. And like I said, it also helped me in some ways. And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, she actually said that that was one of her hopes for the book, was that it would help people and help people understand her. And I think that in my case, it definitely did. And um, I think that if you're going through any sort of problems um, like eating disorders or bariatric surgery, or you just really like Gabourey, like I do, that you'll really enjoy this book. It's amazing, and I love it, and I'm going to start babbling if I keep going. So, yes, 5-star read, highly, highly recommended. And like I said, this is coming from somebody who doesn't like books like this. So, yeah, kudos, Gabourey. If you ever see this, I love you. Love this book. I would love to read another one, actually. Um, so that's all I have to say right now about this book without babbling. So thank you for watching, and follow me on my social media. It's linked down below, and keep reading.